Hello guys, as promised in the previous video, I'm now going to walk you through the module 2 of the digital math test number 1. Again, as I said before, we are the Ti-NspireApps groups that not only do calculators programs, but actually we also have an SAT made easy program if you're interested on Ti-NspireApps.com. We have over 30 years of teaching experience. Our students obviously score way higher after they go through our master class. And I again will show you the most important test taking strategies in our test here. And as a reminder, you have 22 questions per module, so 44 questions altogether, and you have 70 minutes, 2 times 35 minutes. So that gives you about a minute and a half per question, and that's quite a bit, 90 seconds. You will see, you don't need that much time. Multiple choice, 33 out of the 44 are multiple choice, and 11 you have to grid in. So let's get this going. Module 2 of the practice test number 1. Question number 1. Tilly is lucky enough to earn some money, and she gets P dollars for every W hours of work. Which expression represents the amount of money in dollars Tilly earns for 39 hours of work? Well, if for 1 hour she gets P dollars, and for 39 she's going to get 39 times P dollars. That was pretty simple. I'll do 2 in a second. I have 3 right here. What's the value of Y? Well, if we're looking for Y, then we want to get rid of X. How do we get rid of X in the bottom equation? Well, we use the top equation. If we think of the top, if we put a minus sign on either side, negative 3x is negative 12. That means the negative 3x can be replaced by negative 12 plus y is equal to negative 6. So in order to solve for y, you just add 12 on both sides. So 12 added to negative 6 will give us 6, and that's option B. So that was way less time than 90 seconds. So that's good. You can use that extra time for other problems. So here's Juan, and whenever you see the word average rate of change of something per mile, that is always equal to m, the slope in our mx plus b formula, right? You know the formula for linear functions, so you know right away that you replace the 5.7 for m, and we don't have an initial amount here, 0, so we're gonna get, I wrote 5.7, so that's clearly option D. 4, equation gives the speed as that in miles per hour, and you don't really need to read all of that. All you care about is the question, what is the speed of the car after 5 seconds? So since t is measured in seconds, you just type in 5, and you're going to get 40 plus 3 times 5 is 15, and the answer is D. Moving on. Question 5 gives us a right angle triangle. That means we can use our formula, a squared plus b squared is c squared. They labeled it for us already, and they give us values. So this is 4, this is here 5. Well, and then c, we know that c squared is a squared plus b squared, a being 4 and b being 5, so that's certainly correct. But they're not asking for c squared, they're asking for c, so we have to root both sides to undo the square, so that will give us D as an answer. Don't even think about simply taking the root of 4 squared plus 5 squared. Seen that too many times. That is not right. Just do it out. I don't have time for that, but that's not right. So you leave it in root format. Okay, 7. The x-intercept, that's where a graph crosses or touches the x-axis, that's happening here, is happening at a point x0. What's the value of x? Well, it's obviously 7, because 7 is right halfway between 6 and 8, and you can also see the dots there signaling to you that this is a symmetric function. Okay, what is the solution of this equation? Well, to solve for x, you just do reverse PEMDAS, subtract 5 on both sides, and then divide by the 4 to isolate x. So that's 40. Simple. Number 8, the function is defined by this. What is a y-intercept? A y-intercept is always found by making x equal 0. So if we plug in 0 for x, we're going to get 1 over 10 minus 2. That's negative 2. That's your y. That's your y. And x is 0, as I said before. Don't confuse that with a. So here in 9 we have a function 7x cubed, and we're going to shift that function down 2 units. Whenever you shift a function down 2 units, you just subtract 2 from the equation. So that's it. If you shift a function up 2 units, you would add to it. And just for your information, if you want to shift it to the right, you would only subtract from the x. So if you shift 2 to the right, you would have that. That is a shift to the right by 2. Which expression is equivalent? So we are subtracting 2 polynomials, and that is done by subtracting like terms. So we have to subtract 7 cubed minus 6 cubed is going to be 1x cubed, so that can only be a or d. So let's look at the other term, the x term, 7x minus negative, so let me write that down, minus negative 3x. Whenever you have minus negative, your teacher should have taught you that results in plus. So you're going to get 10x. So the right answer is A and not D. Moving on to 12. The function is defined by this. What is the value of n when the function equals 56? So all you need to do is set your equation equal to 56. So how do you find n? Well, you could try the answers that they give you here to plug in for n, or you could just solve mathematically, divide by 7. 57 divided by 56 divided by 7 is 8. And then in order to get rid of a cube, you have to cube root both sides. Cube root of n cube is n, and the cube root of 8 is 2. So there we go. That's your answer A. So that was 12. Here comes a nice easy question, right? If this is 110 degrees, we know this is 110 degrees, and since this is a 180, this angle here must be 70, and then this is 70, and if this is 70, then this is 70, and this is 110. So x is really 70. That's easy enough. Just remember that these two angles have to add up to 180, and all around circle adds up to, the angles add up to 360. A list of 10 data values is shown. So this takes a little time. If you are under time pressure, you make a star next to it and come back to it later, even though you know what to do. But we take our time here right now. In order to save time, I always recommend to add like numbers, or numbers that add up to something like 10 or 20. So 16 and 4, that makes 20. This makes 14, the 6 and the 8. the 17 and the 8 make 25. Oops. And then what else do we have? The 26. Oh, and the 3 5s obviously make 15. And the 26 is not contained yet. So 25, that's 40. And this is 34. And then the 34 goes with the 26 to make it 60. Oh, how nice is this? 40 and 60 is 100. And 100 divided by the number of numbers, that's going to be 5, 10. 100 divided by 10 will give us an answer of 10. That's no surprise. I wouldn't want you to give 9.6 as an answer, but a nice whole number. So that was 14. On to 15. We have an exponential equation with an initial value of 5 and a growth factor of 1.8. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 5? Oh, see, I didn't even read the questions, and I already know or answered that question already. So 5 in an exponential equation is, the first number is always the initial amount. So we are looking for an initial amount, and there it is already, right? The employees when the restaurant opened. And we're moving on to 16. What is the minimum value? Oh, that's similar to what we had before. If you have the function x squared, you know that's a parabola that goes through the origin. And if you add 50, that means you shift the parabola 55 units up. So that means your minimum, which is a y value, is just going to be 55. Whereas here, the minimum value was 0, because that's the lowest y value. 16, for your information, that was question 16, and we haven't even used 12 minutes yet. And I certainly talk way more than if I was in test mode. So here we have each year the value of an increases. Whenever something increases by a certain percent, that always results in exponential growth. Which of the following functions best models how the value of the changes? So obviously we are increasing. So if anybody answers decreasing, that would not be a good choice. And as I said before, it's increasing exponentially because it's increasing by a percent. It is increasing in a linear fashion. We would have a linear increase if we always increase by a same constant number, okay? But if our investment goes up by $4 every week, that would be linear. Linear looks like this, exponential looks like that. Next. I do 20 because that's right next to me here. An event planner is planning a party. That's nice. For $35 to rent the venue at $10.25 per attendee, and the event planner has $200 total. So now I guess there's two ways you can solve it. You can either solve an inequality. You have a one-time fee of $35 plus the $10.25 per attendee, so we call that A, and we have a maximum budget of 200, so no more than 200, so we can just solve this inequality. And remember, don't give a decimal number, but give a whole number, because we're looking for the number of attendees. Or you can do it this way. So what do? You subtract 35. So 200 less than 35. Still have a calculator available if you. And then you divide the 165 by 10.25, and then you round that up. So that's going to be around 16. But I want to show you the other way you can do it. So one attendee is $10.25, so 4 attendees. Make a quick XY chart. 4 attendees will cost you $41. That means 8 attendees will cost you 82. 16 will cost you, we're working our way towards 200, actually 35 less than 200, which is 165, because that's how much money we have in our budget left to pay for attendees, because 35 go towards the one-time fee. So 16 will be 164. Oh, and how nice is that? 164 is just one less than 165. So that means our answer is going to be 16, which we also get by, you know, solving this, solving it this way. So 16 is our whole number answer. Don't give a decimal. 21 is right here. So what is the positive value of x minus 1? Since you have 4 and 4 here, you can factor that out. When you factor that out, you're going to have the equation rewritten this way. And since we are looking for x minus 1, we want to divide by 4 on both sides. So our equation is going to look like this. 112 divided by 4, well, 100 divided by 4 is 25, and 12 more, 12 divided by 4 is 3, so 28. So what is the positive value of x minus 1? Well, it's 28. X minus 1 is 28. The negative value, that's a different story. We just want the positive. There's 28. And let's look over. We say we do 21 questions. I think only question 18 and 19 are left to be solved. So what do we have here? Population increases by 7%. That means we again have exponential growth from 15 to 16. If the 16 population is k times the population, so 15 population times k is going to be the 16 population. That is definitely a exponential growth, and the growth factor is always computed. The k is computed by doing 1 plus r. In our case, the r is 7%, and 7% you should remember is 0.07, so 1 plus 0.07 is 1.07. And you didn't really need to do any math, you could have just done that in your head to answer the question. I'm just explaining things. 19, our last question for the day. Which expression is equal to a to the 11 over 12? Well, I don't see any 11 and 12s in my answer, so I have to work towards my answer. If I multiply, I have to work towards my answer. If I multiply this here by 12 over 12, I'm going to get a to the 132 over 144. And these two numbers are in B, and that is the right answer. And just for full transparency, you should know that a to the n over m is rewritten in radical format as mth root of a to the n, or as the mth root of a raised to the power of n. And we have this version here, so that is just a matter of replacing m and n in here, given m and n here in our new exponent. So here we had to think a little bit, but notice the 11 and 12 are in none of the options here, so we just have the freedom to change our fraction in order to have an answer that contains our new numbers, the 132 and 144. Well, my friends, that's it already. I can tell you we used 19 minutes. I probably could have done it in 9 minutes left without all the talking, and we do still have time left to. In fact, we have 35 minutes for 22 questions, so we still have 15 minutes left right now. So my advice for you is practice, practice, practice. Download all the digital SAT practice tests from College Board. They're freely available. I'll put a link in my comments where you can download them, and you can ask any questions you may have in the comments, and I will gladly reply. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.